So as most of you know, West 7 Coin Stamp here, we're firm believers in bullion, the gold and the silver. And we've always said, bullion is a hedge against inflation. During world events, we see the price of bullion, gold and silver, fluctuate up and down, as we saw this past week, with the US election. But also during these trying times with, the coronavirus or COVID-19, a lot more people are getting into the investment of bullion because, bullion is a physical. It's a physical, you can hold it in your hand. You always want to have physical. These, you hear a lot about the certificates and stuff. A certificate is only a promise to give you something. Just as, our paper money kind of is. Back in the day, a lot of us know that, the gold standard was tied to the US currency and many currencies around the world. Their notes, the United States notes had the note was worth its value in trade for gold. But now with the level of uncertainty, silver and gold being the kind of original currencies, all dating back to Roman times and Egypt, where things were gilded and things were traded, going all the way into the history of coins, where reason we have the ring around the edge of the coins is because people would trim little bits of gold and silver off of coinage to trade it in for more value. So stay tuned as we continue to explore the different avenues and the different aspects of bullion. Hey, so we're back here again, and I got some examples of gold in front of me. But like I said, gold and silver, or any bullion during times like these, are a good investment as you physically have something in your hand. The government can't make more of this. So bullion is definitely, if you're buying it, you want to stick with your physical, stay away from your certificates. And as you can see, it comes in a wide variety of different things, all the way from old coins, mint products, to your standard bullion pieces. Why don't you come over here and take a look with me, and we'll go through the different types and styles and give you a little bit more information about it all. So this here you can see is a bunch of gold flake. And like I said before, that gold is typically mined, with big machinery, heavier machinery, and they're getting, somewhere a couple ounces per ton of ore. 1 ton of ore is yielding only a couple ounces of gold. But the other traditional way, and we've all heard about the gold rushes and stuff, that guys would pan for gold. Gold is heavier than the sands and the silts that it lies in, and they get little flakes like this, and when the pan is washed, they can extract the gold. So there's just a little example, nice little necklace piece there. But once it gets mined, then it gets made into coinage. And this is what we want to talk about, the coinage and bullion. So you can see this little example here is actually dated from like the 1600s, from the Italian states here. And this would have been the currencies at the time, right? So here again, I'm not too sure about the denomination. I'm gonna slaughter this one. One zecchino, hopefully. Someone feel free to correct me in the comments below. And we can also see how there's the little ripples on the edge, and that was originally put on there to stop people from clipping the edge of the coin, taking that gold, going to someone else, going, here's your gold, getting money for that, and still being able to spend this coin. And that's what the dots around the edge of the coin actually symbolize, and they're still on modern day coins. But again, you can see, this is not a bullion piece. This is a collector's coin. More or less kind of an ancient coin. And these are other collector's coins here, produced by the Royal Canadian Mint. This one here with the fancy box and certificate. And we get people all the time, and they come and look at our store, and they see coins like this, and they're like, well, that's expensive, gold's not that price. Well, these are collector's coins. They come with a fancy box, a certificate. They're all limited. These are not bullion pieces. And again, another example, just one Canada Mint can do the holographic gold. The only thing about this one is it's been taken out of its original surroundings and graded. So it's been given a grade, a rating, and certificate number here. But when we're talking about bullion, we're going to start with a couple here. We got some bars, and I got a couple coins here. As you can see, there's a variety of sizes, and sometimes it can be a little confusing, you know. Are you better off with a coin? Are you better off with a bar? Do you want a bigger one? Do you want a smaller one? Like what the heck, right? But we're gonna give you guys a little information here. So firstly, let's talk about the different styles. So you got a bar and you got a coin. At the end of the day, they're both 1 ounce of pure gold. You could see this one is refined down to 4 nines, as well as this one. But our Canadian Mint can also produce a gold refined down to 5 nines, which again is used more in the collector coins and those kind of places. There's really no difference, you know. The one nice thing about the Maple Leaf, it's produced by our government, it has the different security features, but it's more recognized around the world. This Johnson Matthey bar, Johnson Matthey was, you know, one of the original refiners, you know, dating back to, not too sure exactly myself, but if you do know when Johnson Matthey's first started, put it in the comments down below. But a Johnson Matthey bar, you know, if you're from Canada and you go on a trip overseas, you go to Asia, you go to Europe, the coin dealers, the goldsmiths, they're going to know what a Maple Leaf is. They're going to have seen them. They're going to have dealt with them. You know, I'm not going to give you too much troubles. Again, a Johnson Matthey bar, you probably won't get too much troubles if you're traveling with it. But when you start to go with smaller, we'll say unrecognized stuff, if you do want to, you know, put this in your pocket and go on vacation and then sell it for some cash when you're in your destination country, something that's less recognized, they might take from you and want to assay it. So they may want to cut the bar, test the inside. You've seen we have our elemental analyzer. So, you know, if they don't have that, they're going to use an acid test, and basically it will bubble different colors. And that is a destructive testing. So you are losing a small percentage of that gold. And you're also destroying whatever form it's in. So they're going to charge you, you know, time and labor for that. So you're better off sticking with something that's recognized. And then again here we can look at the variety of sizes. I'm just going to show you a couple examples from Johnson Matthey here. So we got a 10 gram, we got a 5 gram, and we got a 1 ounce. But they do come in all different sizes. I've seen Johnson Matthey, some of the older stuff from the 60s, in some pretty weird sizes. But we're going to focus primarily on the Maple Leafs because that's, you know, we're in Canada here. It is definitely, like I said, one of the most sought after bullions. And we got all of our examples. So you can see here, I have my 1 ounce piece. I have a 1/2 ounce Maple Leaf, 1/4 ounce. I got the 1/10 and the 1/20th and a little itty bitty 1 grammer there. So when we talk about gold and people always say the spot price, they see it trading on the market. That price of gold is the commodity in the ground. So when you find it like this, you know, assuming it's in its pure form, but you got your smelting, your shipping, your refining, and your bar charge. So they got to take this, they got to melt it down, they got to clean it up, you know, usually use some borax to get all the, as a flux to get all the impurities out of there. Then they got to form it, they got to make it, and there's a lot of labor costs. One of the examples I always use when people ask is a barrel of oil. A barrel of oil trades around $40, you know, today, but it costs me a lot more than $40 to fill my car. That's because they got to build refineries and truck it and maintain these places and all that kind of stuff. So when you are buying gold, you're better. It's kind of two schools of thought. It's nice to stick with a 1 ounce piece because you're only paying 1 bar charge. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the mint charges, I think it was like $100, somewhere around that $100 mark for a bar charge on each one of these coins. So, you know, $50 to $100. So when you start getting to a smaller product like this, you're paying a bar charge, a bar charge, a bar charge, a bar charge, a bar charge. So proportionally, your 1 ounce, and I don't think I've said this yet, but one ounce, and a lot of people think food, 28 grams, but gold and bullion is measured in troy ounces, which is actually 31.1035 grams. So you're going to pay a bar charge, a bar charge, a bar charge, a bar charge. So proportionally, you're going to actually pay a little bit more to have smaller pieces. But not everyone can afford to go out and spend that $3,000. It's a large investment to buy one of these. And might want to diversify and get a piece of gold or a smaller product for a gift, which is available. But just be aware that you proportionally do pay more for something smaller. And again, the Mint came out with these a couple years ago, 1 grammers, your half ounces. So gold can be bought in a variety of different ways. Another one we do, and we'll get to it a little bit more, I always tell people is think of your gold as your 50s and your 100s in your wallet, and your silver, which we'll get to shortly, as your 5 and 10s. And what a lot of people will do, or we suggest, even, if you can only afford, everyone can hopefully afford 1 ounce of silver. I think today they're, $40, $45 an ounce. But buy yourself an ounce of silver every week. Come in, buy yourself an ounce, every week, or a tube every month, or a couple pieces. And once you've accumulated enough, you could always take that silver, come sell it to us, or your local coin dealer, or to someone, and then upgrade and get yourself that ounce of gold. Because the value of this gold, again, around $3,000 here, you're going to have a big box of silver just to encompass that. And lastly, there's some, some novelty stuff like this, right? Which is still, this guy here is the combi bar, or I like to call them breakers. This is 50 grams of gold. And again, this can be, you're going to pay more of a premium on this, being that it's, the fancy display, your certificate, all this. But in the end of the world situation, you can always bust yourself off. You know what 1 gram of gold looks like. It's a little harder to pull a piece off that. But again, you're going to pay for convenience. So there is a lot of different things to know about this. And if you feel like I've missed something, let us know in the comments below. But we're going to move over here now, and we're going to take a quick look at some silver stuff. Thanks to the magic of our producer, Trevor, you can see that now our table has magically transformed into full of silver. Little joke there for you guys. But yeah, as you can see now, we have a bunch of different examples of silver here. As you can see, we got a number of different coins, some bars, and let's go through what's going on here. So I'm going to probably start with the biggest here. I'm going to start with the smallest because that's kind of the best way to go. So firstly, we're going to talk about our Royal Canadian Mint. We have boxes like this, tubes like this. They come in tubes of 25. And this is the silver maple leaf produced by the Royal Canadian Mint. This here you can see is one of the newer ones. This one here is dated 2020. It has the new security features. So we can see on the front there's the little security feature. The maple leaf, the iconic maple leaf symbol. And then the reverse side holds the queen and the date. And as you can see, it has a $5 face value. Again, you would never spend this coin for $5 because the silver value currently far surpasses it. At one point in time, it didn't. The silver value was right around that $5 mark. But this here is kind of our staple here in Canada. We always tell people to stick with the maple leaf and stick with the 1 ounce variety. You can go for, we'll call, unrecognized rounds. So I just have some smaller examples here. You can see that they're not, where else? Yeah, they're just smaller, made by unrecognized companies. And as I said in our gold video, if you go out of country, you're going traveling, you want to throw a couple ounces of silver in your pocket, to sell to the jeweler on the beach so that you can get a smoothie or a Mai Tai. They're not really going to know what that is. They're going to look at it and they're going to question it. Something like this, a little bit more recognized. That being said, different with gold, like we said, you want to, if you need to get fractional because, cost and stuff, you really don't want to go fractional with silver. We like to call silver, as the poor man's investment, the poor man's gold. We can all afford, the 40 or so dollars it costs for one of those. Gold, not everyone can afford that $3,000 price tag. So we strongly suggest you stick with a 1 ounce piece. But we can look at some of the larger examples here. So we'll just start with the biggest now. So this here, both 100 ounce bars. One's produced by the Royal Canadian Mint. One's produced by Johnson Matthey's. So again, going back to the whole bar charge thing for each piece. If you were to buy 100 Maple Leafs, you're going to pay that $1, $2, $3 bar charge per coin, which you're going to save when you buy a bar like this. But in the future, you're going to proportionally get less back for something like this because, again, someone's going to take it, they're not too sure, they might want to cut it, check the core, make sure the bar hasn't been jimmy jacked or anything. So definitely try to stick with your 1 ounce pieces, but it is nice, to have, again, once you get a couple, you get a couple tubes, which are 25 for the Canadian, and maybe a monster box, which would be 500. Again, just some examples in there, nothing too major. Then you might want to save some space and get a 100 ounce bar, but make sure you have your $5 and $10 bills in your wallet before you get your $100 bills. And as you can see, bars come in a variety of sizes here. We got a 20 ounce bar and then a 10 ounce bar. And this is kind of cool because Johnson Matthey's is a well-known refiner. We can see that they have the 10 ounce, like a Freeport bar, which would have been, years ago in the 80s, and then something more modern looking, done with machinery nowadays that they didn't have back then. Again, very, very good options to get. And you can see that there is different companies that make these bars. We got a First Majestic, we got a Sunshine, but always remember to stick with something that's more recognized. That way in the future, you pay more today, you're gonna get more tomorrow, is kind of our motto around here. I just want to show you a couple examples of different silver coins from around the world. So we do have, firstly, we have the 1 ounce panda. This one here, so China produces the, they call it the panda. Produce a different image, actually, different panda image every year. This one here still says 1 troy ounce. Some of the more modern ones, they've actually taken it down a bit and they're only 30 grams. So this one here, again, there's the reverse side there. Not being part of the Commonwealth countries, it doesn't have a monarch on the back of it, like ours do per se. So we'll grab a maple leaf here to compare again with the monarch. So that's the Chinese panda. We also have the United States eagle, again showing Lady Liberty there. Again, recognized. So this is, another one. We don't sell a whole lot of these in Canada because, again, when we talk about the price of silver and the price of investment, your shipping is a huge cost. This is heavy stuff to send. So to get it across the border, again, you're better off. You're going to pay more of a premium. Yeah, it's a little nicer. You might favor the American a little bit more, but again, stick with your maple leaf. So that's that one. And since we're doing America, we'll get their best friend Mexico here, is the Libertad. Has the, it almost looks like the Rolls-Royce emblem, the little statue on the front there. Again, these are all 1 ounce pieces, so all our mints, all our governments are going to make, except for China, I guess, are going to make a 31.1035 1 troy ounce coin. There you go, and there's the design of the back of that coin. So there's the couple examples there, and then you can get into things like the South African Cougarand, which looks like that, has been around for a number of years. And again, you can see we have the 2 sizes. We got the 1/2 ounce and the 1 ounce. But again, your bar charge on a 1 ounce is the same as your bar charge on a 1/2 ounce. So you're better off, again, sticking with your 1 ounce pieces in that sense. We can look at a couple other things. I got the Philharmonic from Austria. Has been around for a while. And that is their 1 ounce bullion piece. And then we have the Britannia for the British. So these are the standard 1 ounce silver pieces produced by the mentioned mints around the world. And again, the British one being that Commonwealth nation, or being the head of our Commonwealth, depicting the image of the Queen there. One thing that you don't see, because typically our bullion departments don't have a advertising budget, they come out with things like this. So we have a 2 ounce, and I'm going to pull it out for all intensive purposes. I guess I should have done this first. But I have a 2 ounce piece here, and that depicts the Mountie on it. And something like this, the mints, they'll make a fancier, the bullion department will make a fancier coin with a lower mintage, because with the standard maple leafs, they'll produce them till the cows come home, until the demand is gone. Something like this, they'll run a couple production runs, maybe make 1 million or 2 pieces. But again, yes, it is a bullion piece. Yes, it is produced by the Royal Canadian Mint. But this again has an additional charge because they have dies they got to make and all that kind of stuff. And it's a little fancier. It's not just the run-of-the-mill stuff. So you'll proportionally again pay a little bit more for this. And then we can see, here's another example of what they did for the Canada 150. So silver, again, mined in a similar fashion to gold. You know, they do large strip mines, you know, either pulling it out of the ore or finding seams and veins. I haven't heard too much about people panning for silver. I guess probably because it's probably not as readily available in that form. But if you pan for silver, or if you found silver while panning, let us know in the comments below. That'd be pretty cool to see some of your finds. And then maybe in some later videos, as things come into the store constantly, we can update you guys and show you some different things. As I had the gold flake for the gold video, we're gonna maybe one day get some silver vein. I think I seen one kicking around here years and years ago. We'll have to dig it up one time for you. But remember, you know, during these times, your silver, your gold, something physical you can hang on to, something that you can hide, something that can't take away from you, something that can't deteriorate, is your strongest investment form. You know, this at the end of the day will be with you. The computers go dark. You don't have your mutual funds or your bank accounts. So, yeah, definitely consider investing in some bullion.